The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, Custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People, based upon a real-life relationship, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon. Do read it. I'm sure you'll love it. It's www.miamosinzia.com and www.amazon.com/miamosinzia.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeart Radio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, check out the latest novel by well-known award-winning author Mia Mosinzia of No Time for Love, called Missing, an extraordinary relationship between two ordinary people based on real-life events that go through 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and the ones you love will be the first to go missing. Check out the book on Amazon and other retailers, available on all formats today. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com and on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeart Radio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, Amazon, Audible, and coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn, and heard worldwide on Radio Public, Himalaya, and Geo7, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a terrific gentleman from New Hampshire who's basically an actor. He's also a model, and he is also a fitness star, and he also signed on with a big production company, and he's going to be in a film with a very well-known comedian from NewsRadio, and he's going to be best known as Hollywood's Werewolf, and he was also in Vampire Busters, 14 Ghosts, and he was a former Playgirl and fitness star, and also working on a fitness DVD, and runs his own supplement company and fitness segment, and he's fit, he's pumped, and he's ready to go. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plush Studios in beautiful downtown New Hampshire, actor and model and spokesperson, and the very, very multi-talented Derek Webb. Derek, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure having me. It's a great honor to be on your show. It's terrific. Thank you very much. It's lovely.
And it's terrific to have you on as well, too, in beautiful New Hampshire. So you basically have lived in New Hampshire for quite some time. You're a former Playgirl and fitness star. You work on a fitness DVD. You run your own supplement line, and you have a fitness segment. And you're also going to be in a new movie with with a well-known comedian?
Well, how'd I get it? The funny part is my career with everything and how everything got kicked off. It started when I was 15, 14 years old in my garage, to be quite honest. It's kind of weird. It's bad and as weird as that may sound, but
it sounds like, what was it, Stephen Jobs or whoever
Stephen
did?
Jobs,
yeah, Apple, Microsoft, and all that. Everything starts in the garage, and you know what that's going to lead to.
It started in the basement, but yeah, it did. It started in my garage. I was about 14, 15. I back in school, I had my issues with academics and curriculum activity. I really was one of those kids. I honestly, I was a class clown. I acted up, I goofed up, I got in some stupid trouble here and there. And after school, I got into a routine. I said, what if I started lifting weights? And I had a weight set in my garage. It wasn't much, but I had a couple barbells and a few dumbbells. And I just got into an consecutive schedule of lifting weights, and I started pumping weights, hitting the weights every day after school. And that's really, really where I got my foot, everything began. And I started lifting weights, and my older brother, he used to work out there with me, and he'd join me with the workouts. And he was a great role model and great leadership, for example, to help me push me to where I'm at, honestly, in my career now. And he's like, yeah, you got to do this. You got to get into a routine with me. And we did it. We made a routine. We made a schedule. We boom, boom, boom after school every day, after work, in between school and work. And it was like, and I made it a ritual. And to me, it became what was supposed to be a little hobby, doing after school, after lunch, after activity, kind of a little hobby, and living a healthy, fit lifestyle became then from a hobby to what turned into be a career aspect, because I took for a long period of time I was lifting weights, and then I started seeing these commercials and info commercials on TV with these guys doing these phenomenal workout DVD programs. And back then I idolized a lot of these folks because, it was like a lot of great people I idolized growing up. You had Richard Simmons, Arnold Schwarzenegger, people who were major into the exercise bodybuilding platform. And I just said, I want to be like that. I want to take something extravagant like fitness and working out. I want to take something that makes such a passion, and I want to take something that is a passion of mine, but I want to take it and turn it from a hobby into wonder if I could take this and turn it more like into a career and help change people's lives and maybe change my life in the process of doing so. So honestly, I began doing more and more. I started getting more calls from relatives, friends, family, peers, local hometown community folks who said, you're looking great. You're in great shape. What's the tip? What's the trick? I started training with people in my hometown, training with people at the local gym, and it just kept going and going, and one thing led to another, and it just took off from there. And I said, wonder if I could take this now and run with it and start my own basic workout program. And that's what I pretty much started doing. And then what led from that to being in good shape then turned into, I get a tremendous call one day from a guy, Daniel Narcidio, who's the president of Playgirl magazine. And he was like, hey, you're in great shape. We see your image out there. You got these workout programs going, and we'd love to have you do a issue with our, being an adult, and it's an adult entertainment magazine. But he goes, we think you'd be a good fit for what they call the campus, quote unquote, campus hunk issue. And I'm like, okay, well, I've never done something like that before, but I was like, I'll give it a shot in the dark. Why not? So, I did it. I took a shot at it, and they're like, yeah, and you're going to be contesting in that magazine for being a runner-up for actually what we selected you and several other lucky guys to be runner-up for what we call a Real Man of the Year, too. I was like, oh, no kidding. They're like, yeah, so you and a group of other guys are going to go in there as a Real Man of the Year contestants, and you guys are going to squirt in. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And so I ended up becoming in their December 2000, and it was back in 2010.
Wow.
And then their spring of 2011 issue of Playgirl. I was in two different issues of Playgirl magazine. And I was actually a runner-up for Real Man of the Year in the 2011 spring edition. And I had obviously did a nice little graphical imaging with that in some article, as you may know. But and so like from there it took off, and I was like, wow, this bodybuilding thing, which is what I've been doing since 15. Here I am several years later. I'm in Playgirl, being 19, 18-year-old young guy. Mm-hmm. And now what else could I do with this? If I'm already in Playgirl, I'm getting this image, and what under tremendous things could I do with this? And so the next thing I'm like getting offered by a phenomenal company, which up to this day, as you may know, they create a lot of the phenomenal workout programs you guys see on TV. Beachbody, actually, which creates, the programs you see on the info commercials like P90X and
I'm familiar with most of them. Yes.
And so I got in contact with them, and they got a great program and a great company. It's Carl Deichler, the CEO, and John Condon, who's the vice CEO, executive president of the company. And they were like, yeah, I mean, if you're interested, we have a coaching program. You can teach people P90X. You can teach people some of our routine programs. And I signed on with them pretty much as a basic, like, little subcontract, nothing fancy smancy, but a coach and a subcontractor. And I taught people different workout variable routines. And I was on board with them for several years at least. And I taught, workouts such as I did P90X classes, and I taught people some little bit of Shanti stuff, and and it just I drew attention that way through Beachbody. So it went from Playgirl to Beachbody, and then after a while though, Beachbody and I kind of honestly, it became a thing where I loved the company. It was a great program. It was a great program. They had great things going on. But unfortunately, they weren't really bringing me down the path I wanted, which was getting into my own DVD workout program and getting me into things I wanted to do more or less for myself and draw my own fan base. So I kind of parted heads with them and went my separate ways from them. Mm-hmm. And then eventually ended up on my own. And next thing you know, I'm doing my own workouts, my own routine. And then I end up in a situation I developed over a course of years of working out and working strongly on it. I developed my own online podcast show. It's at trainmelive.com, which is Derek's Fitness Network. And that led to one thing, and that took off, and it drew a good fan base and a lot of people tuning in for that. And then, of course, over a period of time of doing that, then next thing you know, I get a call from, I spoke to some good production company actually out of Boston, and I spoke to a couple executive producers and production agencies out and out of Hollywood and LA. And they're like, oh, we've seen some of your stuff. We've seen it online. We've seen it on social media. You're doing great. I mean, would you ever be interested in like a fitness DVD? And that's something you ever pursue? And I was like, as a matter of fact, that's actually what I'm trying to do.
Interesting. It's not you, it's me, P90X.
What's that?
It's not you, it's me, P90X.
Yeah, I know, right? Come on now. But I was like, actually, these are things I'd love to do. These are dreams of mine. I've been working out for many years, and I thought that would be something I would love to, do, and that's always been a passionate goal of mine. And like, yeah, I mean, let's see what we can do. Let's meet, let's talk, or let's set up an appointment. Let's talk more and discuss this. And eventually, I discussed it with a very good production company and a producer who was willing to manufacture and produce the DVD and help me with marketing and designing. And everyone came to proper agreement. We all came to terms, and they're like, yep, let's do up the contract, and let's start. We'll do the fitness DVD, and we'll getting ready to shoot for you. It's coming up, and we'll start getting that ready for you sometime by early midwinter. So, that's in pre-production now. I'm scheduled to start shooting it in probably roughly late December, early January, I want to say, time frame for shooting, which I'm very excited about. Mm-hmm. And so we got that going on, and then obviously with any fitness program, you got to have beta groups, the test groups for the workout program to make sure that it's going to be up to what people's standards are. And so we got the beta groups coming up, and so that led to that. And so here we are working on our fitness DVD, which is going to be titled D's Extreme, which
D's Extreme. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be a great phenomenon. It's going to be a DVD, and it's going to be working on a lot of upper body balance, coordination, strength, stamina, and stability, because what I've realized, and especially there's a good mix of good, cardiovascular activity, it's because over the time of working out, I realized a lot of my goal, in essence, to where I gotten with my fitness has been tremendously. It's just, honestly, it's been with a lot of it, it's been a lot of upper body stamina and conditioning, and a lot of people don't realize the importance of mixing in like some of the cardiovascular activity and some of the other things with that. And so I wanted to create something that was like a ball of mixture. It was a mix of everything, some good balance, some good coordination. And so we're going to have a good program, and we're in the process of pre-production stage of developing that, and it's going to be phenomenal. And that alone itself is, like I said, due out early, probably not due out, but shooting scheduled late December, early mid-January, roughly in that time frame. And then that came to life, and then I was like, wow, this is phenomenal. Here I am, 30 years old, and something I worked many years at doing. Here I am getting a fitness DVD, deal going on. And then next thing you know, I get into talks with some people for some interviews who seemed like, oh, this is a big deal. A guy creating a fitness DVD. Let's have you on air. Let's have you come on for an interview. And I did a couple of interviews, and one radio show in particular I did was LA Hollywood Talk Radio Network. And after being on their program and doing an interview, I then got into good communication with a lady, the producer and the lady who runs that show. She's a really nice lady, sweet lady. And she got me into, I guess you could say, into commotion with a group of people she knows within the Hollywood entertainment industry. And next thing you know, I'm looking, I'm like, oh wow, I'm talking to some really good known film producers and film directors, and some of these guys are people that are like, I never thought I'd be speaking to a day in my life, because I grew up watching movies like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and I had people I'm actually suddenly communicating with who actually help produce and direct these movies, and people that actually are major former directors or people who starred in these films as major roles. And I'm like, this is crazy. I can't believe I'm at this point because of what was just supposed to be a simple bodybuilding thing. Right. And then they took it and they're like, all right, well, how would you like to, we got a couple films we're working on, and you can look into these options and with this director if you're interested, and get in touch with him. And I did. So I got in touch with the director they referred me to. And the director who I was referred to was a great gentleman. His name's James Balsamo. And he was creating a movie which going into where Andy Dick comes into play.
Oh, really? Okay, you know what? Let's talk about that in just a minute here while you get your thoughts together. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, check out the latest novel by well-known award-winning author Mia Motion Zia of No Time for Love, called Missing, an extraordinary relationship between two ordinary people based on real-life events that go through 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and the ones you love will be the first to go missing. Check out the book on Amazon and other retailers, available on all formats today. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com and on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, Amazon, Audible, and coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. You can hear worldwide on Himalaya, Radio Public, and GeoSavin, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with actor, bodybuilder, and fitness star and Playgirl Magazine's Derek Webb here on the Mike Wagner Show. And before we talk about your movie that you've been wanting to talk about for quite some time, some of these thoughts came to my mind when you were talking about bodybuilding, routines, and everything else, supplements, and more. Who are some of your favorite bodybuilders when you were growing up?
Honestly, I gotta say my lead role model was probably the man who actually influenced me into doing what I'm doing partially too, is other than having the self-willingness to do on my own term and will, per se, I gotta say was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger was like the classic, like he seemed to do everything, the way he wanted it to be done naturally. He was in the gym dedicating his blood, sweat, and tears, heart and soul into everything. And he came over, he had a traditional great biography as to where he came from, his livelihood, his background. And I just, being a young kid watching that, and then watching some of the big movies he ended up in, which ironically kind of followed into the same footsteps as what I'm kind of going into now, which still shocks me. But I'm like, I see this guy going into bodybuilding to movies, and then it's like, and I see it, and it's like, that's, as a young kid, I role modelize that, and I'm like, that's something I'd love to, the Terminator films especially, like, were my favorite growing up, and I gotta say Arnold Schwarzenegger was definitely the man. That was who I looked up to the most.
And of course, you're talking about, the routines that you've done as well, too. And, pertaining to bodybuilding or like a particular, like say, I'm trying to think of the ones that were out there. It's like, what routine were you modeling after? Like, say, was it modeling after Arnold? Was it modeling after, something you watched? Or what was like the routine you were doing? Or is this your typical normal, what everybody else was doing? So what was your routine like?
I honestly, my routine was definitely not normal like anyone else's, because anyone that would tell you, like, I gotta say, like, I got some crazy looks. Like, I got some people looked at me like my head was 5. Like, I got literally looked at like I was 10 heads and I came crawling out of a coffin. Dude, you're crazy. You got it. Like, I actually was, there was a 98 degree hot, humid, sunny day. I literally went out running for a good 2 hours straight, and it was high humidity, 98 degrees out, and everyone's like, and I remember I was jogging by. It was a local urgent care facility, and the doctor comes. He literally took time out of his day to step outside, and he goes, "Dude, I envy you." He goes, "You're sitting here. I watched you run 2 hours laps on this whole perimeter in this heat. I mean, I don't want to see you die, but luckily you're in the right place. I'll take care of you."
A free doctor's appointment. How do you like that?
I know, right? He goes, and then he goes, but, you're doing something phenomenal that I've never seen before. So, tremendously, my hat's off to you. You're doing great. And, I wish I could do that. And I said, oh, no, come on, dude. You can do it. You just got to have the motivation. You got to have the self-willingness. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot of mental self-discipline to pretty much put into your mindset and have the will to want to do it. And that's one thing also that inspired me, honestly, from what came from Arnold and then influenced back into me, into my workout regime, was that having that mental self-discipline to kind of know there's more to life. You just got to get up off the couch. You got to go for it. You got to achieve it. You got to work hard at it. Any dream is possible. And I've had people especially me, I'm 30 years old. And I mean, the reality of it is I shouldn't 30 years old, I'm sitting here today talking kind of protein stimulant, but it's really proven too, whey protein. If you take it an hour to a half hour prior to the workout and after the workout, not only does it help the body and the muscle recovery phase process, but it actually helps the gain, the growth. It helps stimulate the muscle. It actually does a lot more than a lot more people think it does. That actually it's really beneficial for your workout, and it's beneficial for the after workout, the post recovery and the pre recovery. So I'd say the whey protein was the main key. I did a lot of that, mixed in with a lot of it was whey protein and a lot of big high protein meals, low fat meals, eating fresh, lean steak, chicken, doing a lot of side veggies, garden vegetable salads, doing some, a little mix of skim milk, low fat milk, cottage cheese, basic 9 yards. I was killing it with eating honestly my traditional breakfast, which I know most people would be like, "Oh, dude, you're giving me a stomachache. Come on now." But my breakfast, I get up in the morning. It was 8 to 9 egg whites with 3 whole eggs. Still working out too. Another thing a lot of people don't understand. Really, honestly, I tell people this all the time. It's 70 to 85% of it is in the nutrition, what you're putting in your body. It really comes down to what you're putting in your body. So, 30-40% of it, yeah, you need to put in the time. You got to put the dedication. You got to do the workout, commit to the program, the routine, whatever it is you may be doing. But 80% of it is what you're intaking. If you're going to sit there and take a cheeseburger and a soda before a workout and say, "Oh, God, at least I'm going to go work it out afterwards, so I'll be fine." No, that's not the way to look at it. You can't do that.
Exactly. And, of course, another thing, too, what are some of the foods to avoid and what supplements to avoid as a bodybuilder?
Alrighty. Yeah, for the foods, I would strongly suggest, especially if you're it all depends, too, varies on everyone. Everyone's different. Everyone's body's different. So, there are some out there who are just starting who are like, "Oh, I'm trying to get bulky, or I'm trying to lose weight, I'm trying to shred, I'm trying to put on muscle gain." So it all depends on who you are and where you're going. So, if you're Tom, for example, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to shred, your best dieting routine would be probably high protein, low fat, low carb. So try to stick to little to no bread if possible, low carbonation with very little to no, too much high pastas and oatmeals, things like that have high carbonation in them, and do a lot of high strict proteins like lean meats, chicken, steak, some poultry, eggs, and then do if you're gonna, especially there's nothing wrong with doing regular eggs, but I wouldn't overkill it, maybe 3 at the most, but nothing more than that in the morning. Foods to avoid, I would honestly have to say a lot of processed junk, typical. I'm sure you hear that often, and you're like, "Oh, what else is new?" Bologna. I'd say avoid the deli meats like bologna. There are soups out there that are high sodium filled soups, are high saturated fat and sodium filled soups, which completely deteriorate the sodium content. It turns so acidic in the body. It actually is proven to eat away at some muscle growth and tissue tone. So it's actually not even healthy at all. I'd stay away from the sodium. So low sodiums and low fat, high protein based diet is where the key is in getting any job done, especially if you're trying to lose weight. And then if you're trying to gain, you're looking at more you know, you want to definitely try to, as time, I mean, if you're especially trying to muscle gain, you don't want to just jump into it and say, oh, I'm going to eat 8 large meals today. Because honestly, it ain't going to happen. If you're just starting off, that ain't going to happen like that. You're going to kill your stomach. You're going to be puking. You're going to be rushing over to the hospital. You're going to be like, Doc, I think I'm dying here. I just choked down 10 eggs and 3 oatmeals. But so definitely don't do that. But I would definitely suggest if you're starting off, try to ease your way to a point that you're gaining into eating more high-protein meals a day. But you're eating large, healthy meals, like maybe roughly 5 to 6 large, decent-sized meals a day. And in between those meals, maybe a couple decent, healthy snacks, like a high-protein. Like, honestly, I found beef jerky was a good snack for me. It was high protein, but it was low in fat, low in calorie. It was great. And very little to no sugar. So, but sugar is another thing. It's a toxin. I'd avoid sugar. Sugar is definitely one of those things. A little bit of it, honestly, ain't going to kill you during the day. A couple of scoops of sugar in a coffee here and there or something. Honestly, I don't find that really that hurtful, in my honest opinion. But if you're going to go sit there and go all out and have multiple cups of coffee, multiple scoops of sugar, you got to think that adds up throughout the day. Then you got to consider what you're taking if you're drinking soda in between and what else even the Kool-Aids, like Gatorade. A lot of people don't know it, but Gatorade is even found to be not even as healthy as it was made out to be. It's
interesting.
All the sugar that's put into it, the content. Like if you look at
That's sad because everybody wants to be like Mike when you drink Gatorade. What's up with that?
Yeah. I know, right? Come on. But like if you look at the back of a Gatorade bottle, like, and you compare it to a can of Coca-Cola, you're pretty much consuming the same amount of sugar. So you might as well just be chugging down a Coke before your basketball game, you know? So you
hear that, Mike?
Yeah, no, right? Come on. No. But in actuality, so there are a lot of things that, there are a lot of key variables. It's what you're intaking, what you're putting in the body. And I think a lot of what you should be avoiding, in my honest opinion, like I said, try to avoid a lot of the high carbs, try to avoid the sugar, the toxins, such as the processed foods and junk, bologna, salami, things like that. Just stick to lean, strict diets of keep to your veggie greens, especially all veggie greens, broccoli, lettuce, asparagus, things like that are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of supplement value that have, good vitamins and minerals like vitamin C, A, B, things of that nature. So, I mean, it varies, but like I said, it varies. Everyone's in a different field. So one person could be trying to gain, someone else could be trying to lose. The other person could be like, oh, I'm just trying to get that happy medium, or I'm just trying to put on a little tone. So it all depends on who you are and what your goals and what your target goals are. I mean, everyone's different. There's guys that go to the gym, guys and girls who are like, oh, I want to be big. I want to look like Arnold, or I want to look like Jack LaLanne, or I want to look like someone like Ronnie Coleman, who's a 6-time Mr. Olympia, and I want to be huge. Well, if you want to look like that, definitely you want to eat 7 to 8 large meals a day, and you got to start doing it soon as possible. And it's going to involve a lot more food, high proteins, maybe a little high fat, not too high, but a moderate size amount of fats. And you got to It
also depends on body shape as well, too. Some have a small build, medium build, large build, and everything else. And I've seen some people, with really tiny builds, but they're just strong as heck. I've seen that before too. It's skinny arms, but my God, they can lift 300 pounds or something.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the tallest guy. I'm 5'6" and a half, 5'6" roughly, and I get it all the time from people at the gym, my local gym I go to where I work out. They tell me all the time, or even when I'm doing my workouts at home, people drive by or they catch me jogging or working out somewhere in a public vicinity or place. So dude, you got some upper body strength. My God, you're built, dude. How do you do it? And it's and it all comes down to, like I said, what not only are you putting in for the body for nutrition, but you'd be surprised, like you said, height doesn't mean anything. A lot of people, I hear it all the time. They all, you got to have the arm reach. You got those big, skinny, long arms, the big, tall, lengthy body. You have it all. And it's not necessarily height. Height ain't it all. I mean, it helps, but I wouldn't say it's the key factor in what does anything. Because like I said, get short guys like myself, even shorter. I've seen guys that are 4 foot, maybe even just a little bit taller, still go into a gym and probably rock out more than I can even do. I've seen guys look dude, holy shit, what are you doing?
Right.
It is incredible.
It is exactly too. And of course, you offer all the wonderful advice, what to eat, what not to eat, the workouts and everything else. Now, people to come to you for advice, or do you provide any classes or consulting or training or anything like that? And if you do offer, it's how can people reach you?
Yeah. Oh, well, you can log on to www.trainmelive.com. And I have all my personal information there with my personal email account, mail account, and I have my social media attached to them as well, whether it be both my Facebook and my Instagram. And you can log on there and catch me there, and you can actually private message me or go as far as even message me through the company website at Train Me Live. And I do every week. I have online live show sessions I do, and that's every Monday from 9 to 10 p.m. East Coast time, 6 to 7 West Coast time. And so you can catch me there, or you can actually just, excuse me, you can log on. I got my basic Facebook, which I air weekly videos of Facebook where I do supplement and nutrition tips of advice for people. And as far as basic home front, you can just, you catch me at the local gym. My local gym, I actually go to the zoo health constantly, training tips of advice there, and I train people there for quite frequently. So you can catch me in a number of places. My Facebook, my Instagram, trainmelive.com is a big one, I would say. That's where you can really meet up with me, because I do a lot of my programming through them, and I do a lot of my developmental stuff through them, especially my weekly shows I do now, which are air every Monday night. I do through them specifically, and I have people all the time. They tune in, they watch, and they get, it's several dollars for a tax included fee to, obviously for the training and all that other stuff. So, there's a little surge charge in the cost for the training and all the other stuff that come along with it. But
And of course, not only you can see him trained, you can also see him on Facebook. You can also see him in movies. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. And check out the latest novel by well-known award-winning author Mia Moshinzia of No Time for Love, called Missing, an extraordinary relationship between two ordinary people based on real-life events that go through 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target where truth is an illusion, and the ones you love will be the first to go missing. Check out the book on Amazon and other retailers, available on all formats today. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com, can also be heard on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeart Radio, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, along with Apple, Amazon, Audible, and coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. Also heard worldwide on Geo7, Radio Public, and as well as all your favorite podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with actor, bodybuilder, and model Derek Webb here on the Mike Wagner Show. We talked about his workout routine, his what he does, and offering coaching. And not only people, you can see him on trainlive.com and also in magazines. You can also see him in the movies. He's got a new movie coming out. But first, let's talk about his other movies, Vampire Busters and 14 Ghosts, and more. And tell us about those, Derek.
Alrighty. Yeah, 14 Ghosts is actually, that's going to be a pretty decent film. Unfortunately, because of just the disclosure contract I did sign with the folks, related to the films, I can't, unfortunately, release too much, for spoiler reason for the script and legal related matter. But what I can say about them is they are going to be funny. Like, they're all basic comedy. They're all pretty much based around comedy. They all definitely have some action, some horror, little flick mix in, and especially 14 Ghosts. That's going to be kind of like a horror-comedy complexion mixture, and it's more like almost an animated real life sequence kind of film, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes any sense. But,
I can imagine, yes.
I'm trying to, but yeah. So, and I'm going to be playing one of the guys in that, a guy named Durgan, who does that's going to be my character's name, and he's definitely going to be one of the guys who spins off the film with worrying about I guess you could say worries about the paranormal activity he's experiencing and undergoing. And he's the guy that kind of pretty much feels the paranormal and wants people to take care of it. And he makes a few phone calls to make that happen. So I guess that's going to be my character cast role playing that, but it should be a great film, and that's due out. It's actually coming out sometime by mid next year. We're casting probably early mid-August of next year. 2021 is going to be the release date.
Mm-hmm. But then the big one you're talking about with NewsRadio's Andy Dick, you'll be in Hollywood's Werewolf. Tell us about this brand new movie. Yes.
Yeah. And Andy Dick will be featured in that film, and that's going to be actually I'm going to be playing Andy's, I guess you could say, his ex-chauffeur, which I guess his ex-chauffeur, because he's going to be Andy's the man who plays, Elliot. He plays the main wolf, Elliot the Wolf in the movie. He plays a teacher, a guy that pretty much turns from a reality way of living into a human-like form werewolf. And he decides that he runs all over Hollywood, and pretty much because that's why it's Hollywood Werewolves, the title of it. He runs all over California, major interstates of Hollywood, and takes advantage of his victims. And it's supposed to be a mixture of, I guess, horror, comedy base as well. And he's he's obviously the main player, the main wolf. I'm his ex-chauffeur. I'm his ex-limousine driver. I'm just a little mangy guy who used to drive him everywhere he used to go. and now here he is taking his victims and I'm supposed to be a witness to the crimes that he's committing, and I gotta just figure out a way to release that info that I'm withholding from the community of what kind of a character he is and what he's doing to people. And it's going to be quite an interesting film. And and Andy Dick, especially to be featured in an Andy Dick film alongside with a guy like him, a great comedian, especially. It's a phenomenal experience, and he's a great guy. I got to say, Andy Dick, he's an awesome guy.
and how'd you meet Andy Dick?
Well, actually, I didn't even meet. That's the thing is, I did the film virtually because unfortunately, like, the way things are, the COVID pandemic, they didn't want me coming out to LA to do the film because of the COVID and everything out there is being closed down. So they actually they had me do my scene here, and they had me script it in front of a green screen. And it's just a weird effect it was actually kind of different but neat experience, more or less. But it was where I met pretty much where I got affiliated through was James Balsamo, who is a Hollywood film director, who is a director of the movie himself. And he's the one who came to me. He's like, hey, yeah, I got this Andy Dick film, and I got Andy Dick in it, and definitely love to have you play a couple roles if you wouldn't mind and be interested. And I was like, yeah, definitely. Andy Dick film, why not? That's something you don't get to be in or be a part of every day. And he offered me that position, and I said, that'd be great. And I'm hoping to get out there because I'd like to get on set and actually get to a little more one-on-one time with Andy Dick and the rest of the guys and girls over there. But unfortunately, with the whole pandemic, it's been put a tremendous damper on things. So unfortunately, all the camera, all the filming and all that stuff had to be done virtually through pretty much just do a camera and then send in the shot, and then it gets green screen. So I mean, it's a weird process Hollywood is going through, because I mean, already the few films I've been in, I can honestly tell you a lot of what they're doing now out there in Hollywood and the entertainment world is a lot of it's virtual activity. And it's weird because even some of these well-known Hollywood directors and producers, and even people who have casted in major Hollywood films that I know personally, I've had the honor of speaking with, and I'm now pretty good friends and acquaintance with. They've told me, look, I don't know, I got to virtually cast, I got to virtually go into this film, and I'd set, and it's like, yeah, so it definitely puts a damper on things. But I mean, for the most part, it's definitely one of those films I think that a lot of people are going to like. It's going to be a little mixture of comedy and horror, and especially when you got Andy Dick in the mix, you can't get any better than that.
And you never know. You could be the next Arnold. You never know.
Oh yeah, no, that's right for sure. And then I got that. Then I got Alien Vampire Busters, which Alien Vampire Busters is another movie. It's being directed by Robert Nemare. He's a great director himself, and that's also, I'm actually going to be used as a guinea pig in that movie. I'm actually going to be in a test lab, like I'm going to be. Yeah.
This won't hurt.
Right. Drill him, Sergeant. No, but the Y incision. No, but they pretty much, but they're going to have me in a test lab, and pretty much it's an Alien Vampire Busters. It's about a group of these people that are out pretty much almost like in a Ghostbuster format, but not quite, but they're doing alien vampire busting, and they're pretty much trying to uncover this big deal involving a group of miscellaneous attacking alien vampires. And I'm unfortunately just used as a guinea pig who's being done lab results and study test up on. And that's actually part of the virtual thing, is they're like, oh, we need a good image of you so we can put it in the green screen. Which is funny because I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you guys want to do? Like, well, you're going to be laying in a tube. I'm like, laying in a tube? I'm like, this is something I don't hear. They're like, well, yeah, you got to lay in a tube. You got to look like you're standing up or laying in a tube because you're going to be in the lab. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, I was like, I thought I was signing up for an actual acting gig, not like I'm just going to lay there in a tube and look like an idiot. I was like, it happens.
Frankenstein makes me think of.
Yeah. So that's where that comes in. I'm going to be a little test guinea pig, you might as well say. But so it's definitely, and that's going to be another Andy Dick film. He's also going to be co-starring in that film with me and a bunch of other people who are going to be working alongside to be producing that film for people. And that's due out in 2021 as well.
And where can we find your other films at?
You can right now find the film. What? Oh, when they come out? Or?
Well, either when they come out or the ones you previously have or anything you have. Where can we find them?
Oh, you can find them you can log on to www.imbd.com, which is obviously they show like a current and up-to-date feature Hollywood film releases and soon-to-be Hollywood film releases. And you can actually type under the search category, Hollywood Werewolf, Alien Vampire Buster, or any of these other films, and you'll come right up and it'll show a picture or a film description of the movie or a poster board of the movie, and it'll show you the list of cast and crew, which you'll see Andy Dick, myself, and the directors and the producers. And I'm already on the website. I'm listed as a cast member to all these movies, so you can see it right up on imbd.com. And also, like I said, if you just log on to there's Facebook media pages for all these films. So if you go on Facebook and you look up under the search bar, just, Alien Vampire Buster, Hollywood Werewolf, you'll see that there's a big already fan page out for the movies, and where you can find some of the cast and crew and get to see some preview images and preview video work and pictorial imaging work and things of that nature.
That is fantastic. Looking forward to it as well, too. Once again, we're with actor, bodybuilder, and model Derek Fitness star Derek Webb here on the Mike Wagner Show. Just a few more things before we go beyond, Derek.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping. One of my hopes is, like I said, my goal for a long time was to do the modeling thing, and then take the bodybuilding thing, turn it into a career, and then take that and turn it into a model, and then maybe turn it into a movie scene, which I seem to have obviously done a good job accomplishing all that. But I definitely like that. My goal between now and 2021, honestly, maybe definitely get into some more bigger, classier feature, different things out there for film-wise and more high up note-ended. Maybe get into starring, who knows, maybe the next big Arnold Schwarzenegger premiere movie or Terminator soon. But I guess my goal is to definitely be out there with the rest of everyone else and try to develop that bigger image and name. And also, I guess where I've already developed somewhat of that for myself, there's really no other goal I could honestly set forward for myself but to say that, who knows, I know we don't really, not to get into politics, but maybe maybe we can discuss maybe a political office run or something. Maybe down the road I can pursue an office.
Well, that sounds good. We can talk about that another time as well, too, in 2021. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career, Derek?
Influence, I would have to say, once again, going back to my man Arnold, he influenced me quite a bit. He, just looking at everything he did in the gym physique from home, from the lifestyle he lived with the bodybuilding, to then using the bodybuilding which he had, to then ending up in the movies. It's pretty much what I did. I followed in the same exact parameter footstep. I did the bodybuilding thing. I used it as a hobby, then took it to use to my advantage to maybe make a career out of it. And now here I am today, now being casted in a few Hollywood films and already working on some good fitness DVD projects and some other great, beautiful things coming down the road. And I got my own, actually, right after we end this interview tonight, later this evening, I actually got to go live on iHeart Radio Network through LA Hollywood Talk Radio, because I got my own fitness segment coming up live, and that's going to be every Wednesday on their network. It's from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's every Wednesday. I'm going to be doing my own health and fitness segments with them. We're teaching people workout and supplement tips of the life and nutrition. So, I definitely seem to, like I said, I developed quite a bit, and it's all, I got to say, thanks to role model and looking up to a great guy like himself. He's taught me a lot over the years, and definitely being a good example in leadership for him is what brought me to that point.
Sounds very good. And quickly, what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
The best advice I can give to anyone at this point, you said?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Honestly, I got to say, keep going, man. Just follow your dream. Don't let anything stand in the way. Don't let anyone or anything. And I got a motto I tell people. I always say, look forward, don't look back. Because as soon as you stop and you look back, you're going to hesitate, you're going to pause, you're going to say, I can't keep doing this, I can't go forward, I don't have enough, I don't have this, I don't have that. And you don't want to tell yourself that. The goal is to look forward, keep going forward, don't look back. Just push through anything, whether, like I said, the Great Wall of China, the brick wall, your arch enemy, whoever it is, I don't give a crap who it is. You not physically knock someone over, obviously, but you knock that thing over and you just push right through, man, and you just keep battling, because end in, day out, you'll get there. It's a matter of dreams and accomplishing big dreams and hopes, and there's so much out there, and I think it's very well possible. If I can do it, I very well believe anyone in this world is very well capable of doing it, and it's definitely well possible for anyone.
And that's very true, too. Once again, Derek Webb here on the Mike Wagner Show, actor, bodybuilder, and fitness star as well, too. Derek, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Learned a lot from you. We're going to hit the gym soon. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back on in 2021. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people check your works out? Where can people tune into your podcast?
Oh, yeah, definitely at trainmelive.com and Facebook and Instagram. Log on to all those beautiful things. And also for the fans, also, by the way, we also have another movie project coming up. I can't say much about, but it is a great film. It's going to be Project Valentina. It's a great director, John Richardson. He's a fabulous film director, and we're working closely on that project together. So that's also another movie I just got cast in most recently, a couple of weeks ago, matter of fact. And so I just wanted to mention that too, that it's another project in the making, and that should be out soon eventually. It's going to be a good high action impact film, and I look forward to working with you guys and all that. And I definitely would look forward to coming back if I can in 2021 and definitely give you guys an update and let you know how everything's looking, and we can move forward from there.
Sounds great. Once again, Derek, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely great. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep this up to date. Love you back on in 2021 and beyond, and keep in touch. You've been fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing: Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based upon real-life relationship, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon. Do read it. I'm sure you'll love it. It's www.miamosinzia.com and www.amazon.com/miamosinzia.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeart Radio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.